All right, today we're diving into the really fascinating story of artificial intelligence in Africa. And look, this isn't a story about a continent trying to catch up. It's about forging a totally unique path, one that's navigating some incredible potential, but also some very, very specific challenges.
So let's just start with the potential, because it is massive. Projections show the African AI market could rocket to $16.5 billion by 2030. That number isn't just big, it tells you that AI is being seen as a fundamental engine for growth, not some tech luxury.
And it goes way beyond the money. The human impact could be absolutely staggering. We're talking about the potential to create up to 230 million new digital jobs. I mean, that's a direct answer to huge challenges like youth unemployment and a real pathway to a much more inclusive economy.
Okay, so all these numbers are painting this picture of a boom just waiting to happen. And it's not just theory. Investors are already putting some serious cash into Africa's wider tech scene.
You can feel the confidence coming back. After a bit of a funding winter, general tech investment just staged this huge comeback. In the first half of 2025, it shot up 78% year over year, hitting $1.4 billion. There's this clear belief that the continent's growth story is the real deal.
But, and this is a big but, when you zoom in and look only at the funding for AI startups, well, the picture gets really, really different. All that optimism we just saw, it just doesn't seem to be translating here.
And that right there brings us to the central puzzle, what we're calling the great AI paradox. You've got all this incredible potential on one side and this baffling lack of direct investment in AI on the other.
And this is where the sheer scale of the gap just hits you. In a single quarter of 2025, the world poured over $47 billion into AI startups. The entire African continent, it got just 14 million. Billion versus million, it's just wild.
Let me put that in perspective for you. That's not 2%. It's 0.02% of global AI funding. It's so small, it's almost a rounding error on the global stage. I mean, that kind of disparity just begs for an explanation.
So yeah, the billion-dollar question is, why? Why is this massive gap here when the promise is so obvious?
Well, it really comes down to a foundational bottleneck. You see, you can't run these complex AIs without a ton of computing power. And right now, Africa has just 1.3% of the world's data center capacity. Think of it as the essential digital plumbing. And without that plumbing, trying to build large-scale homegrown AI is just next to impossible.
But this is where the story gets really, really interesting. This huge challenge hasn't actually stopped innovation. No. In fact, it has forced a totally unique and, frankly, brilliant strategy.
They're calling it leapfrogging with constraints. So what does that actually mean? Well, instead of trying to build the next giant AI model from scratch, innovators are taking existing AI tools and applying them in really clever ways to solve immediate, real-world problems.
Let's start with fintech. This is a perfect example of where that leapfrogging strategy is absolutely crushing it, mostly by tackling the huge problem of financial exclusion.
And the impact is just so clear. You have over 400 million people without a bank account. Now, AI can look at their mobile data and create a credit score, opening up loans for the very first time. At the same time, big banks are using AI chatbots for customer service and catching fraud in real time. It's incredibly practical.
Okay, now let's switch over to healthcare. Here, the whole game is about overcoming these chronic shortages of doctors and equipment, and using AI as a kind of force multiplier for the medical staff they do have.
This has led to this idea of AI task shifting. An AI co-pilot can help a nurse perform diagnostic tasks, and in some clinics in Kenya, that's already cut errors by 16%. And get this, portable scanners are using AI to spot fake medicines on the spot, fighting a crisis that causes 1 million deaths every single year.
And of course, we've got to talk about agriculture. It's the backbone of so many economies, and AI is becoming this crucial tool for food security, especially with climate change in the mix.
We're talking about simple smartphone apps that use computer vision to let a farmer diagnose a crop disease just by taking a picture. Drones are flying over fields, and AI is analyzing the images to predict how big the harvest will be. And it's even helping farmers connect directly to buyers so they actually get a fair price.
Now, all of this incredible ground-up innovation isn't just happening randomly in a vacuum. There's a really high-level vision that's guiding it, a major push to make sure this whole transformation is built by Africans for Africans.
The African Union strategy is pretty straightforward.
resting on three main pillars. Number 1, data sovereignty. Basically, keep African data in Africa. Number 2, build the digital infrastructure, the data centers, to make that possible. And number 3, align all the regulations across countries to create one giant unified digital market.
And if you zoom in from the continental view to the national level, you see these big four hubs really carving out their own unique roles. You've got Kenya leading the charge on policy, Egypt is pushing this big top-down deep tech strategy, South Africa is all about corporate research and ethics, and then you have Nigeria just leveraging its huge market to fuel this incredible bottom-up startup scene.
So, where does this all go from here? What are the key things we should really be watching as this super unique AI ecosystem keeps evolving?
Well, the path forward seems to have a pretty clear playbook. For investors, it's all about focusing on those high-impact areas like health, agriculture, and finance. For policymakers, the job is to create clear, simple rules that make people want to invest. And for the big global corporations, the smart move is to partner with local startups, not just try to outcompete them.
So let's be really clear here. Africa isn't behind on AI. It is on a completely different path, a much more pragmatic one, focused on solving problems right here, right now. The big question, the one that remains, is whether this clever leapfrogging strategy will forge a truly new path to innovation and digital sovereignty, or if that massive gap in funding and infrastructure will end up creating a new, modern form of digital dependency. That is the story to watch.